Hello everyone, it's Mark Berger, founder and executive director of the East Denver Origami Society, coming to you with another episode of Things to Do Inside when there's a pandemic outside. And today on the 13th floor, we're going to work on the Origami World Globe. And as you can see, it's in the shape of an icosahedron. It's got 20 sides. And this particular map, such as this, was designed in 1909 by a fellow named Cahill. And I've redrawn the map. And it looks like this, and you will have received in the mail a package of papers from which you can fold the module to make the map, and then from there to make the globe. I'm going to show you now how to fold the module. And looking through the papers, you can see that there are two different kinds of modules that we're going to make. One spins clockwise, the other spins counterclockwise. And you can tell the difference by the number of the given to the sheet. It's either going to be on the lower right corner, lower left corner, or the lower right corner. So you see some of them are odd numbers, being number 1, and others, like number 2, are even numbers. But we're going to crease them all pretty much the same way. So here we go. You see the lines that I've drawn on the sheet are the lines which you're going to fold. And we're going to start out first with the paper print side down. We're going to do a book fold, just like that. So you see each module that we're going to make consists of 2 faces of the icosahedron. There's a tab, there's another tab, there's a pocket, and another pocket. So once we've made the book fold, and you might want to fold this according to the drafted lines rather than folding it in half or so on, because you might have a little more accurate model if you do that. So once we do the book fold, and please do it along the vertical axes, then we're going to take the bottom left corner and the bottom right corner, and we're going to fold them a little differently than the corners at the top. And here we go. We want to make sure that we fold through the bottom corner. And you see I'm following the drafted line more than I am the corner of the sheet. So that's one, and then we unfold it, and then we take the other bottom corner and we fold through that. So you see each crease starts at the bottom corner, and then we fold it so that the opposite bottom corner rests along the vertical crease. Okay, so once we have those 2 creases, we can then take the upper left and right corners and we fold those so that they match the creases that we just made here, and then we unfold it, and then we're going to follow this crease and fold it like so. So that's those are the creases that we make before we make the final module. So here's sheet number 1. I'm going to show you how we do sheet number 2, and then I'll explain to you the difference. Okay, so we got step 1, the book fold. We got step 2, the bottom, one bottom corner. And then the second bottom corner. And you see, when you do that, this angle here ends up being 30 degrees and 60 degrees. Hence, we can then go ahead and construct an equilateral triangle here and here. Okay, so we did the center crease, we did the bottom 2 creases, then we take the side and fold it to 1 crease, unfold it, and then take the remaining corner and fold it up. Okay, so that's the 3 steps. Now here's the difference. I'm going to show you now how to fold the odd number. Here's number 1. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to fold it so that at this bottom corner, the number is there. We don't want to fold it so that the number is in the middle. We want it on the edge. So once we have that folded, we're going to take the opposite crease and fold it in like so. And then from there, we're going to go to the opposite corner here, and we're going to fold that over. So what we've done here is we've bisected this angle. And then we take the remaining raw edge here, and we fold that just along this crease that's already there. Okay, so that's an odd module. Let's do an even numbered module right next to it. Okay, so we fold in the corner where we have the number, then we fold in the opposite crease, okay, and then we're going to fold this exposed corner over to the edge. Okay, that makes our pocket. And then we're going to take this remaining raw edge and we're going to fold it to this crease. So can you see what the differences are here? One, they're mirror image of each other. And then to finish it off, we're going to go ahead and reinforce all the folds. And there we have 2 modules. Now, I've ahead of time folded the whole stack. And now let's look at how it's going to go together. Oh, we need that. Okay, so here's the map, and as you can see, here's module number 1, and you see how it fits like that. That's North America. And then the next one, number 2, you see is South America, and they're going to connect to each other by overlapping this blank triangle with the map. And how does it look on the other side? Well, we're going to take this tab and put it underneath this pocket like so. So number 1 goes into number 2, number 2 goes into number 3, and so on. It's pretty simple. It doesn't take very long. And I'm going to go ahead and show you just how it's assembled. Now, to do this, you will want to have a glue stick. This is a Zhongyi Nara glue stick. I like it because it doesn't tend to pucker the paper as a lot of other glue sticks that contain water will do. So here we go. So, and this is a good exercise, test your knowledge of geography as well. So you want to have a scrap piece of paper here, and they're going to overlap like this. So on the back side at this edge of number 2, I'm going to put a line of glue, and then I'm going to carefully line it up like so. We want to make sure we have a clean intersection here and here. And if you'll notice, it's hard to see, but I put a dark blue line around the edge of every triangle, and you could just line up the dark blue lines together, and you're okay. All right, so now we're going to flip it over, and we don't want to have a lot of this paper flapping around. So I'm going to go ahead and make a line of glue right here. This is along the center line of the triangle. And we're going to press that down and press that down. And that will make our assembly, when we make it three-dimensional, so much easier. Okay, so we've added number 2. Let's find number 3. Thank you, Marita. Okay, so here's number 3. And as you remember, I said number 2 will go into number 3, like that. So there we finished the east corner of South America. So we're going to go ahead again and put a line of glue at the edge, and then we're going to carefully line it up. Turn it over, open up the flaps, put a line of glue, and so on. Okay, so you notice the Antarctica is down here at the bottom, and the North Pole is at the top. This is one thing I like about this map, which was figured out by a fellow named Cahill in 1909. Now, some of you will say, well, isn't this Buckminster Fuller's Dymaxion map? Well, Buckminster Fuller did his map about 50 years after Cahill. And I prefer Cahill's map because you get north and south poles lined up with the vertices of the icosahedron. All right, so we did, what number were we at? 3. Here's 4. And here's Antarctica. And that's going to join, we're making the coast of Africa. Now, so we put a line of glue. And if you overstep the edge of the glue onto the scrap paper, that's just fine. So we line it up, we press it down. and fasten it. You will be glad that you glued down these tabs. Okay, so number 5. Here we have beginnings of Europe, Northern Europe. Okay, so that was the 5th module. We're halfway done. So let's see what comes in next. We're going through to join Madagascar together, and here's the bottom tip of India. Now when you do this, you want to make sure that you don't set your module down in a place where you already have glue, because that wouldn't be so neat. I also like the Jonginara glue stick because once you press things together, they tend not to want to move anymore. Okay, so you see we just added number 6. So the even numbers have South America, have the South Pole, thank you, Marita, and the odd numbers have the North Pole. All right, so now we're heading, here's China, Malaysia, and what's nice to have is to have this lighter blue line more or less even as across the whole map. Okay, that's number 7. What's number 8? Here we go. We have Papua New Guinea. We have Australia. At least I hope that's Australia. I think it is. Okay.
You held it the wrong way, and that's better.
Is that better?
Yes.
Thanks. There we go. Okay, so we got Papua New Guinea, Australia, and New Zealand. You see how close New Zealand is to Antarctica. That's why a lot of expeditions start in New Zealand. Okay, so now we're going back up to the Northern Hemisphere. And that joins I think that's Alaska. And then the last module, module number 10, is going to go right there. We forgot to do number 8. There we go. Okay. Did we forget another one? No, I think that's
7.
okay.
Yeah,
Number
no, you have to tuck, not 7.
Oh, we didn't tuck it. Thank you, sweetheart. Okay, everything is tucked in. And now we have the map part completed. I know that one of you went ahead and used it as a map. And I think you either cut the tabs off or folded them under. And you see it makes you can frame it. That's what they did. Okay, so next is the tricky part. We need to join number 1 to number 10. And it's going to become a cylinder. It's going to join like this. Now, here's a couple suggestions I have. When you do this, take these flaps and fold them back the other way so they don't hinder your joining all of this together. That's my first tip. And my second tip is take the pocket of number 1, which you're going to insert number 10 into number 1. Take the pocket of number 1 and put something there so that when we close it all in, you'll be able to tell where that one pocket is that you have not glued yet. Okay, so here we go. Going to put our glue line on the back of number 10, and here we go. Now you want to take your time and you might want to use just a little more glue than you usually do. That'll let you slide it. Okay, so there we have the cylinder, and all that's left is to finish the north and south poles. And here we go. I suggest that you do the end that you want to be the nicest, to do that first, because the second pole that you put together is going to be a little more tricky, and inevitably one's going to turn out maybe a little better than the other. So if you live in the northern hemisphere, if you live in the U.S. or Europe, you might want to do the north side first. If you're Australian or a New Zealander, you could turn it up, the globe upside down. There's no north in space, and then have a nice view of your own country. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to start with the north, and it doesn't matter where you start in this circle. We're going to put the glue on the tab this time, and let's do a dry fit. So do you see the pocket here? The tab's going to slide in like this. So we're going to put a line of glue like so. And since it's 3-dimensional, it's just difficult to do this flat on the table. So it's going to go together like this, okay? And let's go ahead and do the rest. Now you see I keep the glue away from the edge, and I don't put it at the very beginning, the very edge, because you don't want the pieces to seize up until the last moment. And if it doesn't come out even as you'd like it, you can pull it apart. Let's start again. I had some white showing there. And remember, if you want to make the glue joint a little more slippery at the beginning, you can do that by adding maybe an extra run of glue along it. Okay. So now we have the last piece, and what I do is I take the final tab and I fold it back, because you don't want to assemble put the last triangle in and have to search around for that tab. And make sure that you get it into the pocket, because it's hard to see that sometimes. Okay. So now we have the last tab in, and it's going to be a little tricky. So we're going to put an extra line of glue in there, and here we go. Make sure to watch your language when you do this. And here you see you can put your hand in through the southern hemisphere and make sure press it together like so. Okay. So there we are. Here's how it looks inside. And you see this tab with the green tape on it? Can you see that, Marita? Mm-hmm. Okay. You see that we didn't glue down, and we should have done that before we did the northern hemisphere, but it's not too late. We'll just glue that in. Whoops, sorry. And then put a little line of glue here. Okay, so now everything, let's fix this. Okay, so now everything is in place. The North Pole looks pretty good. And now we're going to do the same thing with the South Pole. And you see that's going to run in the opposite direction. So whether you're right or left-handed, doesn't matter, you get an equal chance both ways. Okay, now we're getting the last triangle in. You will notice that I printed the design on heavier paper than we usually use. That's because it's a model with large flat surfaces, and I did not want everything to get puckered up. All right, so now we come to the last one. And again, watch your language. And we're going to pick that up. You want to find the pocket. Can you see the little pocket in there? Yeah. Okay, I'm going to put more glue on because probably dried a bit. Okay, that's not a bad job. So here you see is your Origami World Globe. Now you notice I made a little stand here. And if you're interested in how to assemble the parts and make the stand, write to me and I'll be happy to help you out with that. And if you have any questions, please drop me a note and I would be happy to help you over FaceTime if necessary. It's no problem. So thanks for joining me and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.